everyone, and welcome back to G.I. June on Jesse Heck Creative. Today we're going over Breaker and Ram Cycle 29 from the G.I. Joe Classified series. Let's get to it. So here's the Ram motorcycle. It's actually pretty cool. Very compact, small, neat. Looks really good. So let's go over this thing, shall we? So we have a lot of little sort of insignias and stuff on here. Looks very nice. We have whatever this is, I guess. The number 36 in red. This blue looks very striking and vibrant, but I just can't tell what it is. Is it a castle? Is it the letter M? Who knows? We have MG 1027 right over here. I'm not sure what MG stands for. Maybe Major Gunner or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's MSG, but typo. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a weird joke. So we have the more you know G.I. Joe kind of symbol. I really wonder if they made that, because you got that kind of, whoosh kind of thing, and knowing who's half the battle, and connecting the dots, maybe not. We also have this little American flag symbol right over here. Isn't really painted all that well, tampoed at least. It's kind of like, fluttering in the wind. Maybe that's an intentional thing, but I have a few others of this bike, and they look much better. I just grabbed this one because it was closest. We also have number 36 over here on the sidecar piece, right up here. Trying to get the focus going on that. Yeah, there we go. And USA on the bottom. We also have G.I. Joe right here, if you didn't know who the bike belonged to. We have instrument cover, very nicely printed there. It's pretty good, actually. A little wrench. I guess you need a wrench to kind of like undo this. Another MG27 with the more you know G.I. Joe symbol thing going on. On the top we have some dials. Looks really cool over here. Whatever this is, I wish this were, painted or something, whatever it is, I don't know. Looks important. With these handlebar things over here, we have a clear plate for the, I'm not sure what this is, like a sort of protective plate, I guess. You wouldn't need like a windshield kind of thing, I think, for a bike. Doesn't really fit. Yeah, we also have this nice little, what do you call it? Little wheel, wheel going on over here. It's not rubber, it's plastic. It's fine by me though. We also got the little, just some wheels with these little spokes in the middle. Look great. Looks really cool. I love how this looks. We have this little protector right over here, sort of like a cover, It like contours greatly to the wheel, which looks really nice. We also have, the coloring is nice. It's not gunmetal. It's like sort of a reddish gunmetal, which is actually pretty cool. It's different than this kind of gunmetal over here. We have some engine parts right over here. Looks really nice. A exhaust going out to here. You probably could put some kind of effect in there. That's really nice. Super cool. We have a tail light right over here. We have, I think it looks like a head. No, this isn't a headlight. It's some kind of thing. Yeah. What I wonder is though, this is called the Ram. Now, do you ram into it, like ram into something, or because you break the wheel? You need to go out more to be like an actual sort of ram to hit something. Because rams have their horns that go out from the body. And the body, you want to protect the body with the horns. So it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe this kind of could be the ram, But this is the same issue as the other thing, by the way. Watch the contour. Down, right? And then pointing up a little bit. So that's frustrating to me. The bottom, just a regular old bike. There isn't really a stand, because you have this as a stand. You can actually take this off, this sort of sidecar piece, and it has these two ugly holes right over here. It looks better with the sidecar piece put on it, and it stands much better with the sidecar piece put on it. There actually is a kickstand though, so I just realized that. There's a kickstand you can use, it goes straight down, or out forward, or back and hidden, which is actually a really nice thing they did. It's better than the kickstand for, I think, the coil. I think a better bike than the coil, in a way. The coil's nice, but this is much better. Looks greater. The seat has ridges on it. I don't know if I like that. It would probably ruin the crotch of the Joes sitting on it. So, I don't know. Maybe it's for friction or something. It's a really bad seat, by the way. It should have some kind of better seating, everything. But, plastic and whatnot, I guess. Going to the sidecar, little wheel right here. It could be a little wheel bot, little I am mad with power. Little gun robot, I guess, if you want to have that. Has some nice, mechanical stuff on the side over here. Not really, painted or anything. It can open up to, be a unicycle for any unicycling Joes that want to just unicycle. Maybe there's a circus-themed one. I'm not sure. Chuckles, maybe? I don't know. We have the minigun from the Heavy Artillery roadblock, which is kind of interesting because it's a reuse right out the gate. It does bend though. On it's weird. I don't know why it bends. You can probably heat it up and fix it, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to break it or anything. But it's the same minigun. I think it's better. I like the color of it a little bit more. It's all black. It has a nice contrast with the actual, bike, and looks really good. It could be the exhaust or something. I'm not sure. You could have Breaker hold it if you want him to. So that's pretty cool. But it's a nice bike, a nice sidecar. You could actually, undo this, unattach this, and then you got to put the handle right over here. I think. Wait, am I doing it backwards? Yeah, I'm doing it backwards. Gotta have the handle fit in this little slot, this little notch right there. Gotta press it in, and then you gotta push this in and make that click. I'm actually not sure if they came with a barrel for the minigun. That's interesting. So I may have to look in my boxes and see if they came with a barrel for the minigun. Maybe I missed that. I'm not sure. I don't think it came with a barrel for the minigun. It would have been nice to have come with a barrel for the minigun because I think you need it. But yeah. It doesn't really fit all that well either. It just sort of like, boop, that's it. There's some pegs sticking out right over here. That's kind of frustrating. I wish it sort of like jutted out more, like it's a protective covering, instead of having it just be like that. And also just trying to take it off sort of almost like breaks the thing in half. So putting that back. Yeah, that's fine. It's a nice bike. Also, these move just like the, the coil. They can twist, they can on a ball joint, they can move, looks very nice. I think it's the same sculpt as the coil one, and this can move as well, like an actual bike. It's a great bike. I love this thing so much. Pick it up if you can. It's really cool. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. So here's Breaker. He looks really cool. I actually have a vested interest in the figure outside of G.I. Joe Classified, and I'll show you guys that a little bit later. But let's take a look at this guy. So this was the sort of most messed up head sculpt I could find, because I'm using this for a different set of things in the coming days that I'll show you later on in a different review. But here's the face for Breaker. It looks good. I like it a lot. He has this sort of like, I picked a kind of chubbier sort of like look. I don't know why, it just looks different to me. It makes him a little more battle hardened in a way. This is sort of off with the beard. It's a little chunkier than it should be, less sort of suave, I think. Everything just looks kind of like, I don't know. He looks kind of just different. I'm not saying Brad Pitt, but maybe more Jake Gyllenhaal. And that's what I kind of want to bring up with the head sculpt. So just putting this guy at the side and then grabbing a different figure from a different line. Just showing off a couple of things here and there. Destroying half my collection as I do so. Yeah. So there's Mysterio as Jake Gyllenhaal or whatever. He looks really good. I like him a lot. This actually completes this figure for me. I really like how this looks. Going over the head sculpt, it does look like Jake Gyllenhaal to me. I found one that looks really nice and goes on Mysterio. So now I just pose him like this and looks really good on him. I do have a bunch of breakers and everything. So yeah, Mysterio looks really nice. So, and that's really cool. I am glad to have this head for him. I don't know if Jake Gyllenhaal didn't do it because of movie rights or something, but No Way Home was just... No Way Home. Far From Home was really good. No Way Home was amazing, but Far From Home was really good. I liked his acting as Mysterio. I love Mysterio in general, and that scene with all the illusions was phenomenal in the middle of the movie. That's my favorite Marvel scene of all time. Just because I love this guy and I want to see that thing happen. So yeah, there he is as Mysterio. Looks great. This is a really good head sculpt for that. Pick up an extra if you can, if you would like to at least. So putting that back on the shelf and getting back to Breaker. The head sculpt is great. It looks good for him. I kind of picked a less Jake Gyllenhaal looking one on purpose just so I wouldn't, I don't know. It just looks good to me. Moving on. Very base body. Very sort of lackluster in a way. These are really loose. I'm not sure why I picked this one to be the one. It's just so loose and just really floppy. That's my big complaint. Every Breaker I picked up, I have like a bunch of bikes too, has all these different loose joints on them, and it's kind of a shame. I'm trying to remember whose body this was. I think it's a reuse of multiple figures. I think these boots are new, and the bottom is probably I think it's Snake Eyes or something. I'm not sure, This is probably a combo of different Joes I'm forgetting about. But we got Snake Eyes and Duke. You know, this vest is new. It's really nice. I like it a lot. It contours the body incredibly well. Really nice vest. I love it. It looks really good. But you could use this guy for some kind of like army builder thing. And that's what I, you know, want to show you guys later on in a different review. You know, so yeah, this is really cool. I like this a lot. It's, you know, it's a good sculpt base, but the articulation just suffers horribly. So speaking of which, going down with the head, up with the head, swivel around. Very clicky, by the way. Up on this side, down, around, swivel. There. Around. And then side to side. And then here we got up and down. I don't know if I hate or like this. We have the watch from Duke, so this is definitely a reuse from Duke. A lot of it, I would think. Actually, I think it is reused from Duke, the whole thing. Most likely, I'm not exactly sure. We have a... He doesn't really crunch all that well. He can actually... He can crunch forward and back, I would think. You have to kind of like fudge it a little bit. He does go around town on the hips. You know, he doesn't... He could use a belt, I think. That's my only issue. So the legs, really wobbly. We went over that before. Goes down with the hip, out really nicely. Goes out really nicely here. And then back really nicely. And that's fine. You know, just regular old G.I. Joe hips, I guess. Swivel up here. Good articulation on this. Swivel down here. Haven't even touched that in like a millennia, so it just snapped a little bit. Swivel down, up, ankle pivot, kind of loose, and two bagels at the bottom of the feet. Yeah, good figure. I like it. You know, it just sort of suffers in the articulation department with those hips. You got to really kind of, you know, pose him correctly if you want to have him actually stand on your shelves. It has that sort of barbecue problem, in a way. The only accessory he comes with is this helmet. I love this thing. This is great. Put it on his head. He has a nice little sort of like visor thing going on. That looks great. Wow, it really fits super well to his body. It almost like changes everything, I think. He looks really amazing. The helmet has this nice like sort of like, you know, just nice helmet thing, whatever. This little symbol in the front. We've seen that before on Heavy Artillery Roadblock. We got this thing over here. This sort of like data, whatever camera. There's a camera on the side of his head. Goes around, wraps around to this vent, I think. And then an antenna wire right here. And then a microphone, you know, little thing right over here. It's very floppy and rubbery. This is a little bit rubbery too. That's good. We also have this sort of two-tone visor with blue on the top, like a purpley blue, and then a teal green, but very green on the bottom. And it fits super well to his head. It just, you know, it fits really snug, which I really like a lot. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, it's nice. It's just one molded green color. I think it's a little bit better colored and color blocked, I would think, than the Roadblock one. But as far as this goes, I don't know if I like him wearing the helmet. I like him being him, you know. Having this thing, helmet, makes it disguise who he is, kind of, in a way. So we'll see that down the line, what I use with that. But yeah, it's just a really, you know, it's a good figure in, you know, just in practice. But, you know, the execution leaves a lot to be desired with articulation and accessories. He needs a gun or something, you know. That minigun ain't gonna cut it. He can't just, you know, drive and then stop and then pull out the minigun. Wait a minute, Cobra. I'm gonna just, you know, pull out my minigun here. Just stop for a second, please. Just give me a minute. He has trigger fingers with nothing to hold in them. He can hold his helmet. You know, that's all I have him doing is holding his helmet. And even that is sort of a trial and error kind of thing. But yeah, Breaker's good, just not great. The motorcycle is where it's at. So getting Breaker on the bike is actually pretty simple. You just gotta take the sidecar off because it's actually easier to do it, you know, that way. So get him on this bike. So there's some peg holes right over here. You just gotta put him on that. Just gonna sort of just stirrup him in a way, you know, aligned with his feet. One's on over here. And the other's gonna be on in just a second. There we go. It's actually pretty easy. Works out really well. Probably should have pre-posed him, but whatever. You know, just gonna take him down a little bit in a crouching motion. One by one on his legs, just slowly, you know, push him forward, and then that crouch in there. I may have to do it, you know, just pre-pose him first, and then figure it out in a bit. Yeah, pre-posing him is a little bit better. It's kind of hard for him to get on the bike, honestly. It's not really that intuitive in a way, but if you kind of, you know, gonna make it work, it works out. Okay, so getting his hands on here, you have to really like open them up really wide and then just sort of grip them on the handle so it actually fits and works out. There we go, that's one hand. And then open this one up over here and then grip it on the other handle. His wrist is a little bit loose, so yeah. It fits actually pretty well, you know, on here. It looks really nice. He looks good on the bike, yeah. Putting the Sidecar on now, finally. Yeah, I could not have gotten on with the Sidecar. So yeah, this works out pretty well, actually. He's kind of sitting above the, you know, ridges on that, which actually works fine. He looks nice on the bike. He looks really good. I like this a lot. Super cool. It takes like, what, a minute to get him on the bike? But once he's on the bike, he actually looks really nice. Yeah, this is pretty good. You know, breaker looks good on the bike. Let me see if I can't activate that crunch on the ab and get that going. There we go. Okay. Yeah, breaker looks good on this bike. He looks really cool, actually. Vroom, vroom, baby. Yeah. Get this thing going with the guns. You could have somebody holding on to this, and you're just sort of hanging on for dear life on that side. So carefully take this off over here. There we go. And then take that off right over there. Move him back into place. You know, have him maybe sit down if you want to. You could have Duke on the bike too, or anybody else, you know. And have him just hang on to the minigun sort of port. Again, remembering to open up his hands so he can hang on. And that works out pretty well too, having him sort of ride side saddle, you know. Firing the gun. I wish you could have this gun go backwards. I wish there were ports on this side that were opposite, so you could just have the gun firing backwards. That'd be even cooler. You know, running away from danger and firing backwards, you know? That'd be pretty cool, pretty neat. It kind of goes into the whole retreat kind of thing that Cobra does, but in a way, you know, it works pretty well. But yeah, this looks really nice, actually. It works out well for different things. You could even have like 2 breakers on the bike, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's super cool. It works out great. I like how Breaker is on this bike. It fits really well with his feet and everything, and it just works. I like this, actually. This works out pretty well. It's better than having him stand or do anything else, because that's not really the thing you would want to do with him. So yeah, it just looks good on the bike. Breaker stands at about 6.5, 6.25 inches tall, while the Ram bike is about 7 inches, maybe 7.5 inches, like wide, and then from top to bottom, highest point, it's around 4.5 inches tall. Here's Breaker in the Ram next to Heavy Artillery Roadblock, and on further look, they're both good, these like miniguns. They're actually pretty cool. You know, it makes Breaker really top heavy, so you have to sort of pose him really well, but then his weak ankle joints kind of like just drop out from under him, which is kind of a shame and just brings him down even further. I want him to be posed with that minigun looking all cool and just shooting up some Cobra guys. But yeah, I'll take what I can get. They look good together, actually, you know? You can actually put Roadblock on the bike and put anybody you want on the bike, you know? It's not just exclusive to one guy. But that being said, the helmets are pretty cool. I actually like Roadblock's a little bit more because the color is a little more olive green as opposed to this sort of darker, sort of foresty green. But yeah, that's pretty cool anyways. And also here's Jesse Heck Creative. What do you mean I have to give the Ram back? I only borrowed it for like 5 hours without telling you or anything. Overall, this amounts to a figure with a very large accessory. I do think it's cool, yet I feel like he needs a little bit more as far as accessories go, aside from the bike. The bike is really great, and the draw of the set. Breaker's good too. His articulation suffers. He has a lot of good pieces here and there. And the face sculpt is nice for other characters as well. He looks good, just not as good as the bike. The bike is what really sells. And that's just awesome. I love it a lot. It looks really cool. It can be used for other Joes. It has some really nice features to it. And it just plays around really well. The minigun, while good, it could be better implemented on the bike. I would love a reverse situation where you could put the minigun on either side of the bike and have it point forward or backward as needed. But it does work well as a sidecar for another figure to just sit on it as someone's riding the bike. That works great too. The helmet's really nice. I love how it looks. I don't like it as much as the other Roadblock helmet, but this one works fine. Overall, a fine set that works out really well, and it's best for the accessories rather than the figure included. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more G.I. June on Jesse Heck Creative. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Heck Creative. Feel free to click like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. You can also visit us at jesseheckcreative.com, where you'll find more reviews like this one. Thanks again for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned!